Hey guys, what's up? It's Katie and I'm back with another Marvel Contest of Champions video. And thanks to the CCP, I had early access to the Champion Spotlight for Psycho Man. So without further ado, let's jump into it and see what this guy is all about. So Psycho Man is, he is going to be a tech champion, which is honestly no surprise there. Psycho Man is a genius scientist and ruler of the technocratic system of worlds in the microverse. Obsessed with conquering the normal-sized universe, he crafted a mechanical exoskeleton so he could interact with things not on a microscopic scale. He carries with him the control box, a device capable of creating and controlling the emotions of anyone he chooses, especially feelings of hate, fear, and doubt. Oh no. Please let this guy not be like Ant-Man, but with controlling the emotions of hate, fear, and doubt. All right, let's take a look at Psycho Man's mechanics now that we know a little bit about him. So Psycho Man is focused on manipulating his opponents into doing specific actions, then punishing them for doing so. So that sounds like he might have like a taunt mechanic. His control box has 3 modes: hate, fear, and doubt. Hate is associated with heavy attacks, fear with special attacks, and doubt with blocking. When opponents perform the action that's tied with his current mode, they are inflicted with concussion, and the Psycho Man grants power from striking them during or after that action. His special attacks also trigger different effects depending upon what mode he's in. Oh, okay, so it's almost like Mojo then. He's like a tech version of Mojo, but instead of degen, you get a concussion. Kind of like it. All right, so now that we know a little bit about his mechanics, let's take a look at his strengths and his weaknesses. So, strengths: concussion. Psycho Man has a variety of ways to inflict concussion on his opponents, causing their abilities to fail. And when those abilities do fail, he doubles down on the punishment by inflicting heal, block, and power lock. Ooh, okay. Which those are pretty standard for tech champions. Power control. In doubt mode, Psycho Man's special attacks inflict a variety of different effects that control the opponent's power. And since those special attacks are also unblockable, fun, he gains power from hitting his opponent's block, so it's very easy to hit the opponent with them. So hopefully they're not too hard to dex. I'm hoping they're maybe like Iron Man specials or something. I guess we'll find out. All right, weaknesses. Unique buffs. Psycho Man is dependent on getting his opponent's abilities to fail through concussion. However, the potency of his concussions is reduced for each time unique buff on the opponent. So those who are easily able to maintain a variety of buffs will have an easier time against him, which most cosmics do, right? So Angela, Venom, Hype. I bet Hype is just going to destroy him. Strong basic attacks. Other good option against Psycho Man is just to ignore his control box entirely. Characters with strong basic attacks that aren't dependent on specific abilities triggering at certain times are able to effectively ignore his control box. So like Hyperion and Venom and Angela and Captain Sparkles and Cosmic Ghost Rider. Cool. All right, so he doesn't seem then like he's going to be too hard to fight, but we shall see how Kabam has him noted up in the monthly event quest that comes out on Wednesday. All right, so now let's take a look at some of his abilities, see what he's got going on now. So the potency of Psycho Man's concussions are reduced by 25% flat for each unique buff on the opponent up to 3. This cannot reduce them below 0%. The potency of Psycho Man's concussions are increased by 75% flat against mutants. That makes sense, class advantage. Combat power rate is decreased by 10%. Psycho Man makes up for this decrease in combat power rate with other power gain abilities. So that makes sense. They kind of do that. That's similar to like, like Havoc or Doctor Strange and that sort of thing. All right, so now let's take a look at his control box because this seems like a big portion of his kit. So Psycho Man carries a control box with 3 modes: hate, fear, and doubt, flooding his opponent's mind with a selected emotion at all times. The control box starts in hate mode. While fighting as an attacker, Psycho Man cycles to the next mode whenever his 4th light attack lands a hit or strikes into block. Okay, so it's easy to switch modes then. While fighting as a defender, Psycho Man cycles to the next mode when the opponent fills a bar of power. If the bar filled during Psycho Man's special attacks, it cycles after the attack is finished, okay? Psycho Man's abilities change depending on the current control box mode. So it says here that they differ depending on what Psycho Man is attacking or defending. So it doesn't seem like he's going to be too bad. I do like that if you do want to get this champion, it's easy to cycle through the modes. It's very similar to maybe like Jubilee or a Ronin, right? But it's just based off the number of hits. So the 4th light attack, I like that. That's an easy way to switch modes. All right, so now let's talk some more about this control box here. So hate is going to cause the opponents to fight more aggressively and suffer passive concussion during heavy charge and heavy attack, reducing ability accuracy by -75%. Of course, this is only going to work against the AI, right? So it's going to work as if you are playing Psycho Man. It's not going to work when you're playing against Psycho Man because you control how aggressive you want to be, right? Right. All right, fear. Opponents are 70% more likely to use a special attack and suffer passive concussion during special attacks, reducing ability accuracy by -75%. So makes it seem like he's going to put, it's going to be like similar to a taunt. And then doubt. Opponents fight more defensively are 70% less likely to use a special attack and suffer passive concussion while blocking, reducing ability accuracy by -25%. So these are his main controls, and he's basically punishing you based on what you do. So it's basically going to be, you know, are you going to use a heavy, or are you going to use a special, or are you going to block? Or I should say what the AI is going to do, because you're not going to do all those. So basically, whenever he's in that mode, don't do what that mode tells you to do, right? So the fact that opponents are more likely to use a special attack is also useful for all or nothing nodes, even when the opponent is taunt immune. So that's actually really nice. If you don't have a specific power control champ, I mean, there's a lot of really good power control champs out there anyways, but that is nice for ones that potentially, if it's like an all or nothing node where they can't be power drained or power burned or power locked or anything like that, because I have a feeling Kabam might add that in. I just have that feeling. All right, now let's take a look at his attacks and stuff. Okay, so all attacks. So hate, striking the opponent while they are executing or recovering from a heavy charge or heavy attack grants Psycho Man 18% of a bar of power. That's a decent amount of power. Striking the opponent while they are recovering from a special attack grants Psycho Man 25% of a bar of power. That's nice too. And then doubt, striking the opponent while they are blocking grants Psycho Man 8% of a bar of power. So this is definitely how he gains power, right? Because he's got a reduced combat power rate. So this is going to make him really good at punishing specials and punishing heavies. You're going to gain a good bit of power. So I like that. I like that a lot. So I don't think we're going to have to worry too much about that fighting against him in the monthly EQ, but hey, you never know, right? All right, opponent activates a special attack. Aha, this is where we need to pay attention. Psycho Man's mechanical exoskeleton causes his opponents to suffer -1400 crit rating during their special attacks. I see you, Kabam. I see what you did there. That's all right. All right, I see that. Yeah, that's interesting. That's kind of cool. I like that. I like that a lot. It's a neat little mechanic. All right, let's take a look at his special one, because each of his specials are going to do different things based on what mode he has active. So hate, inflict the opponent with a shock debuff, dealing energy damage over 6 seconds, stacking up to 6 times. Inflict an additional shock for each fury buff on Psycho Man. Oh, that's kind of neat. We got another shock champ, so I like it. Fear, inflict the opponent with a cowardice debuff, reducing special attack damage by 40% for 12 seconds. So that would be on top of already the reduced crit rating that the opponent would get from their special attacks. Interesting. Doubt, this attack is passively unblockable and inflicts the opponent with a power drain debuff, depleting 30% of their current power over 6 seconds. Okay, so when baiting out specials, don't bait them out from him when he is in doubt. Kabam says, using Special 1 or Special 2 in hate mode is the way to do the best damage as Psycho Man, whereas fear provides more utility and doubt provides power control. So this is kind of nice. The 3 modes here, you have different uses for each. So it's kind of a lot like Jubilee, right? Or yeah, it's a lot like Jubilee. So I like that. All right, Special 2, what do we got here? Traumatic experience. Hate. Psycho Man gains a fury buff for 14.5 seconds, increasing attack rating, stacking up to 2 times. These fury buffs refresh when a new one is gained and when Psycho Man cycles modes. So that's kind of nice that they refresh. And so it looks like you want to go, you know, special 2 and then special 1 to get that shock damage on. Fear. Inflict the opponent with a heal block passive for 18 seconds. I'm always a fan of heal blockers. And then Doubt. This attack is passively unblockable and inflicts the opponent with a special lock debuff for 12 seconds. So if you're looking for power control, it seems you want to keep him in the Doubt mode. And if you're fighting against him, you don't want to bait out specials while he's in the Doubt mode, since they'll be passively unblockable. And I'm hoping they're not hard to dodge, but I'm not holding my breath. All right, special 3, let's take a look at that. This one is called Emotional Breakdown. Inflict a stun debuff and power lock passive on the opponent for 3 seconds. That's not a bad stun. During the opponent's next special attack, they suffer passive concussion, reducing ability accuracy by -100, and passive weakness, reducing attack rating by 50%. So this one is kind of nice if you're really looking to control power, it seems. So I don't think I wouldn't go too far for the special 3. I think I would stick to more or less the special 2 and special 1 rotation, depending on which mode I need to be in. All right, let's take a look at his signature ability and see if, whoops, too far, Katy. See if he needs to be awakened or not. So this is called Microverse Overlord. Whenever an opponent's ability fails to trigger while they're suffering from one of Psycho Man's concussions, they are inflicted with a heal block debuff for 9 seconds, well, 9.51 seconds. If they are already heal blocked and have been so far for at least 0.5 seconds, they are power locked for 6 seconds instead. Whenever the opponent heals while heal blocked or gains power while power locked, Psycho Man gains 25% of a bar of power, scaling up or down with how much health or power they would have gained. So this is kind of a nice little added feature. I don't think Psycho Man necessarily needs his awakened ability here. But it is kind of nice. And Kabam does want to mention here that the ability provides additional benefits for controlling his opponents, baiting the correct attacks, and getting their abilities to fail due to concussion will inflict them with heal block. If you're able to do it again while they're still heal blocked, they'll additionally become power locked. Then once they're in that state, any power they gain from abilities or being struck is funneled into Psycho Man instead. So I really like that. The power gain listed in the third point is based around a 5% heal or a power gain of 25% of a bar. So if the opponent were to heal 10% of their max health, Psycho Man would actually gain twice as much power as listed. So that's kind of a nice little feature. Do I think he needs the awakened ability? No. But is it kind of a nice little added bonus? Absolutely. All right, so now let's take a look at his synergies. Whoops, too far. Okay, there we go. And he has quite a bit of synergies, actually. So he's got Malice with Invisible Woman. So his ability accuracy reduction affects reduce ability accuracy by an additional 15% flat rate. And Invisible Woman, while invisible, all attacks have a 25% chance to place a vulnerable, oh, here we go with this word, vulnerability, I totally butchered it, I don't care, debuff on the opponent. Pure Hatred with Coming Soon. What is that, Kabam? So the control box is unable to cycle out of hate mode, and opponents are 20% more likely to use a heavy attack. Personal shock debuff potency is increased by 60%. Personal fury buffs refresh when the fourth light attack lands a hit or it strikes into a block. So I don't know who that's with. But I'm gonna bring that along, whoever it is, when I get Psycho Man. All right, and Dinky Shrinks, oh my god, with Yellow Jacket, Ant-Man, and Wasp. Psycho Man heavy attacks grant non-stacking armor up buff, increasing armor rating by plus 600 for 10 seconds. Ant-Man special attack 1 inflicts the opponent with 2 stagger debuffs for 12 seconds. I like that for Ant-Man. The only problem I have with that is a lot of times the special 1 for Ant-Man whiffs. Wasp plus 1200 block proficiency. That's nice. Little Miss Glass Cannon over there. Yellow Jacket, when the opponent fills a bar of power, they gain a Power Sting debuff for 8 seconds, dealing 30% of Yellow Jacket's attack as direct damage. Ooh, I like that a lot. All right, and then we got, there goes the multiverse. I love it, with Deadpool, X-Force, and Man-Thing. Interesting. So Psycho Man, Power Lock, and Heal Block effects last 15% longer. Nice. Deadpool and X-Force. Heavy attacks inflict a non-stacking armor break debuff, reducing armor rating. And Reverberate. Oh, what? Man-Thing, gain up to 25% perfect block chance based on agitation. That's not bad. And then, of course, he's got the enemies synergy with She-Hulk, Thing, Human Torch, Mr. Fantastic. All champions gain crit rating. So, I don't know. He sounds kind of fun. I like his abilities. I like the 3 modes. So he sounds like a fun champ. I won't know how he is. He looks decent on paper, but again, I always like to get my hands on champions first, play around with them, and then make my final decisions on them before I do anything. But anyways, guys, that's all that I got for the champion spotlight for Psycho Man. Let me know in the comments below, what do you think of Psycho Man? How do you think he's gonna be? How do you feel about these 3 modes, or do you think he sounds overtly complicated? Let me know in the comments below and let's discuss. As always, guys, thanks so much for watching and enjoy this quick word from Kevin Smith.
Hey man, it's me, Kevin Smith, and if you enjoyed the mediocre MCOC video full of scrub gameplay, then show Katy some love by hitting like and subscribe, man. Katy don't ask for much. Katy did ask for this. Katy did. So, do like Katy did and bug people and get you to like and subscribe, man. She's doing that MCOC beautifully. Not mediocre. Katy!